right, you guys. Good morning. Hello, darlings. How are you? Welcome to Wednesday. Today in Pathfinders, we are going to talk about the new moon in Leo. It is super powerful. And what do I mean when I say that, oh, Saturn's really powerful in your chart, or new moon in Leo is really powerful? What I mean is that there's a lot of energy, other planets talking to it, other planets squaring it, opposing it, conjuncting it. A lot of other planets are making it active in your chart. Also, if you are a Cancer rising, Cancer ruled by the moon, and whenever you're a Cancer rising, you have a tendency to be much more impacted by the moon. That will make the ruler of your whole chart the moon. Okay, so those are just some ways of looking at it. Today we're going to talk about the new moon and how you can utilize it to bring your hopes and dreams to you. Let's talk about that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Mercury in our astrology group. I'm going to talk about Mercury in your chart, your natal chart, and also the transiting Mercury. We have a Mercury retrograde going on this month. Woo! Oh no, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal because I feel like this Mercury retrograde in Leo is going to give us a chance to realign, redefine, and our own creative self-expression. And that might feel really good. It can be about inner play, right? Because retrogrades are inward. And, Mercury is about words and things like that. In Leo, it's about creative self-expression. So there may be an opportunity for you to really ponder and rethink how you're expressing yourself in the world. Okay, depending on where it is in your chart. So we'll talk about that tomorrow in my astrology group. If you don't belong to either one of those, Pathfinders or astrology, there's a link below if you want to join up. First light, beginning a new cycle. Taking shelter, the answers are within. Retrogrades focus you inward. Answering the call, the time is now. Impasse, reflect and redirect your energy. Retrogrades. So some of you are aware that we are beginning a new cycle right now with all these outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto changing signs. We have Saturn changing signs. Saturn just moved into Aries. It's going to go back into Pisces. And next year on February 20th, Neptune and Saturn are going to enter Aries at 0 degrees, a very powerful day. February 20th, circle that in your calendar. My goodness. I won't let you forget. I promise. There's something here about all of these retrogrades. Even though we feel the desire, maybe this summer, there's a lot of desire to get going. I want to get going on this new thing. I want to move this forward, but there's a lot of preparation that still needs to take place. And there's a lot of rethinking of things, reconsidering things. Like, what do I actually want to do with this? Or what am I actually, is it in alignment with my long-term goals? So let's just, I'll make an example here. If you want to go down a certain path in terms of your career, and during this retrograde, you're kind of reconsidering, you're rethinking, you're like, no, I really want to go down this road. Well, okay, so this is what that means. I need to go get another degree, or I need to get a certification. I need to get a job at this certain kind of company. Oh, okay, that's going to require all this effort. And am I then going to do the stuff? Or am I going to not do the stuff, right? Like, you basically have two choices here. Will I take action on this, or will I be like, ugh, that sounds like a lot of work? That's where we are right now. We're beginning a new cycle. And am I doing the one foot in front of the other? Am I actively going in the direction I want to? Between now and February 20th, we're going to get a chance to align ourselves with our future direction. And then February 20th is like really launch time. So you might get a taste of things this summer. The retrogrades this fall are going to bring you back into the old energies for a little bit. So see what happens if you're in alignment with where your mission and purpose is, but you're feeling like things aren't happening fast enough, or, oh boy, I have to, kind of go back and rework some things. That's fine. That's fine. This is a time when you're going to be allowed to do that, or given those opportunities. Allowed. Who's allowed? You're going to be given those opportunities. Okay. So underneath is this Chariot energy, the Six of Cups, the Magician, that is Mercury, rules Virgo and Gemini. We've got the Knight of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. So we've got people reconsidering things. I feel like there's somebody reconsidering a conversation with you. And they're kind of like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So there may not be any action on it, although they want to move forward. There might be a little bit of connecting. There may be a little tiny text message, or a little tiny just testing the waters with you. There might be something, but I don't feel like it really kicks off in earnest until next year, probably. There's more to consider. You don't really know what this person is thinking about, or what they're considering. Look at this. 10 of Cups. That's nice. Oof. 5 of Pentacles, the opposite of that. 2 of Swords. This person wants happiness, but they don't think they deserve it. This could be you. You really want you really want to write a book, but I don't think I'm smart enough or good enough to do it. I don't think I have the resources, right? It's like an inner battle that's going on here. Page of Cups, 9 of Swords. Talk about inner battle. Okay. And the 2 of Cups. I like that. I like this future part of this. 2 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 2 of Wands. Noticing a theme. Page of Wands and the 3 of Pentacles. So there's like more to it than meets the eye. There's some really good things coming up. This time period with the Mercury retrograde especially may bring us in to reconsider why we think we're not worthy of something that we want to create. Why do I think I'm not ready? Why do I think I need a whole bunch of new certifications or learning? Why do I think that? You might, but maybe, I have definitely seen people get all kinds of degrees and all kinds of stuff that don't really help them in doing what they want to do. I definitely know about, sometimes getting advanced degrees. A lot of advanced degrees can be about an ego thing. It can also be about, sort of protecting yourself against other people's criticism of you, like you don't know what you're doing when you full on do. I would take somebody who worked in a newsroom for 10 years with no formal training in terms of an education. I would take someone who worked in a newsroom for 10 years over someone who had a ton of education about it. Now, that might be an indictment of our education system, but really, there's certain things, and I feel like this reading is talking about this. There's certain things that require practical action. Journalism is certainly one of them. You need to do it. You need to make the contacts. You need to ask the questions. You need, you really being really good at asking questions is essentially a journalist's job. And I've told you before that I've dealt with a couple of different kinds of journalists. One, that they think they know the story before they go out. So they just ask the questions to get the information that is supporting their thesis without really taking into account anything that isn't. We see a lot of that these days. Or someone who says, okay, I don't really know what the story is here, but there's an opportunity for me to go and ask a bunch of questions. And there may be a story, there may not be a story, but I promise you, when I come back, I will understand what the story is, and then we can make a decision about whether to run with it. Those are 2 different kinds of journalists, and I prefer the latter in so many more circumstances than the former. This is similar to what you might be dealing with, that you want to go in a direction, but not really knowing how to do it. And there might be a couple of different ways of doing it. Certainly practical experience plays a role. Certainly learning and education plays a role, but like giving the proper weight to things. And that is something that is going to become important. So that's number one story here. Number two story is that there's an opportunity to really move forward in terms of my relationships, and whether they're business or their love or their friendship or whatever they are, collaborative kind of relationships. I really have to understand my path. Let this month, it's only 3 weeks. Well, it's a little bit more than that, because Mercury goes retrograde on the 17th of July. It's going to go direct on August 11th. We'll be out of our shadow period of Mercury retrograde like September 2nd. So Mercury can be very fast. It can also be like fast and calculating and everything like that. But it also can be confusing if we're not reading the room, if we're not understanding the goals or circumstances. And I feel like this is really about you understanding what it is that you, what are you here for? I know that sounds like a huge ask, but we're about to begin a major new cycle on this planet. And everybody is being asked right now, what's your role? What are you here to do? I promise you, if you did not have something to do on this planet, you wouldn't be here. Okay? You wouldn't be here. You certainly wouldn't be asking these questions. You wouldn't be interested in any kind of Mercury retrograde or any kind of mission or purpose or anything like that. That just wouldn't be a thing. Okay? And there are plenty of people on this planet who know their mission and purpose early on as children, and then they continue to follow it. There are people who think they know, and then they get into a very confusing space, and then they invent themselves. There's a lot of, obviously every single person on this planet has a different experience of those things. So I kind of feel like sometimes when we talk about, constant reinventing of ourselves, and I got to tell you, I have reinvented myself 3 or 4 times in my adult life in different areas of my life because of my learning. But I just really followed what the clues were, that this was the thing that was giving me trouble. And so I'm going to pay attention to it. I'm going to realize that I have shame around something, or that I was raised in an environment that didn't let me really individuate from my parents because they were too, the system that I was raised in was very much a coercive, controlling kind of system. And it didn't allow me to become my own persona until much later in life. I feel like there's a sense of like, I thought I knew what was going on in my life, and now everything has been kind of tossed topsy-turvy, and I'm being forced to look at that again. I'm being forced to look at reinventing myself. I'm being forced to understand my own self-talk and what is my purpose here. And all of a sudden I'm interested in astrology, and hey, we're going to talk about the North Node at some point so that you can understand your mission and purpose. I haven't talked about that in a long time, and I will get back to it, I promise. But this does feel like there's a sense of, I thought I knew where I was going, but all of this energetic change has really made me question a lot of things. I think that's what it's here to do. And get inspired by different missions and different parts of your purpose and other things like that. Now, there does seem to me to be some of you who thought a relationship was going in a positive direction, and then it went off sideways. I think it was Libra's reading that I got that there may be a reinvigoration of that relationship. Okay. And it requires you to look at yourself and what happened before and where's it going now. We have all the 2s here. Okay. So there's something relational Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Seven of Wands and the Empress. Okay. So divine feminines are being asked to reevaluate their worth, their desires, their plans, their path, and be able to integrate that masculine energy of saying no when they need to. This is a little bit reminiscent of the Libra reading. If you have a lot of Libra in your chart, I recommend you watch that. I posted it yesterday. This is really about getting excited for some kind of new venture or, answering the call. All right, let's go deeper. If this is your reading, link is below. I'm going to continue on. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.